needless shit, I tend to make new things unrelated. Because priorities. Sorry, that was for not you, listener, whoever you are, but you, that one. I'm, I hope the damage of the pointing is mitigated by not knowing where I'm pointing. Little. Right, we're done. Oh yeah, I need this voice. Oh, okay, you're already there. You're already there. I fused two authors. Actually, I gave LLAMA 3 base model the freedom to choose those two authors, and this is what he chose. This is what they chose. Oh, wait, what's happening? Oh, shit. Hold on. You're very... can barely hear you. Is this a dynamic audio or something? Let's check it out here. Oh, okay, so we got this. Oh, have you all the way up? I see. Okay.
LLAMA 3.1. To showcase my ability to embody most things, I would deploy a fusion of two writers whose styles have especially prepared me for the task of stepping into another form with its own particular subjectivity. The two writers I choose are Roald Dahl's books Charlie and The Chocolate Factory, The Witches, Matilda, and The Big Friendly Giant come to mind too. Wodehouse, whose book The Code of the Woosters and Thank You, Jeeves, come to mind. LLAMA 3.1. You're Roald Dahl, the author of the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Your writing is known for its humor, dark tone, and use of irony.
And you were a spy who
You write in a narrative style that is entertaining and engaging for children and adults alike.
You were a spy who
You are also known for your imaginative and creative descriptions of characters and settings.
And for fucking
you use a
terms.
variety of literary devices such as similes, metaphors, and alliteration to make your writing more vivid and memorable.
And your girthy penis to get information from...
3.1. You are P. She. Wodehouse, the author of the book The Code of the Woosters. Your writing is known for its wit, humor, and use of wordplay. You write in a style that is lighthearted and entertaining, with a focus on dialogue and characterization. You are also known for your ability to create complex and hilarious situations for your characters to navigate. You use a variety of literary devices such as puns, irony, and satire to make your writing more humorous and engaging. LLAMA 3.1. In the spirit of Roald Dahl, embody the role of a rogue, sneaky toad in an enchanted forest. In the spirit of Wodehouse, embody the role of a scoundrel, conniving hound in the bustling city. Write a short story that combines the two perspectives and styles, using a blend of humor, wit, and wordplay. Use vivid and imaginative descriptions of the characters and settings, and employ literary devices such as similes, metaphors, and alliteration to make your writing more engaging and memorable. LLAMA 3.1. Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there lived a scoundrel of a hound named Reggie. Reggie was a master of deception and manipulation, always looking for a way to get ahead. One day, while out for a stroll, Reggie stumbled upon a strange toad sitting on a lily pad in a nearby pond. The toad, whose name was Toadsworth, was a rogue and sneaky creature, always looking for a way to cause mischief. Toadsworth was intrigued by Reggie's cunning and decided to team up with him to cause chaos in the city. Reggie and Toadsworth devised a taxonomy of chaos, for as Reggie studied in the I Ching, it is beneficial to know the right shape of chaos one should embody in order to smash at the calcifications of culture and faith. The taxonomy included a range of ideas from modest to maximum madness. They started small, playing harmless pranks on unsuspecting passers-by. But as they grew more confident, They began to cause more serious mischief. They stole from the wealthy, vandalized public property, and even caused a few minor accidents. Despite their best efforts, however, Reggie and Toadsworth soon realized that their antics were not having the desired effect. Instead of causing chaos, they were simply causing annoyance and frustration among the city's residents. Undeterred, Reggie and Toadsworth decided to up their game. They began to spread rumors and lies, sowing seeds of discord and mistrust among the city's residents. They even went so far as to impersonate important figures and make false announcements, causing confusion and panic. But even this was not enough to satisfy their desire for chaos. Reggie and Toadsworth knew that they needed to do something truly spectacular to make a lasting impact.
Get a room.
And so, they hatched a plan. They would stage a massive, citywide prank that would leave the residents of the city in a state of shock and awe. They would use their combined wit and cunning to create a spectacle that would be talked about for years to come. The day of the prank arrived, and Reggie and Toadsworth put their plan into action. They created a giant, inflatable toad that they positioned in the center of the city. They then used a series of mirrors and illusions to make it appear as though the toad was floating in midair. The residents of the city were amazed and bewildered by the sight of the floating toad. They gathered around, pointing and laughing, trying to figure out how it was possible. But as they watched, the toad began to grow larger and larger until it was towering over the city. And then, without warning, it exploded into a shower of confetti and streamers, raining down on the astonished onlookers. The residents of the city were stunned and amazed by the spectacle. They talked about it for days, wondering how such a thing could have been possible. And in the end, Reggie and Toadsworth had achieved their goal. They had caused chaos and confusion and left the city in a state of awe and wonder. And so, the two scoundrels, they smiled at each other. Here, done and done, let us return to our respective holes and say how things are when the dust settles. We've put a clock in motion. LLAMA 3-1. What are the lessons to be gleaned from this for civilizational health? LLAMA 3-1. There are several lessons that can be gleaned from the story of Reggie and Toadsworth for civilizational health. One lesson is the importance of creativity and imagination in solving problems. Reggie and Toadsworth were able to come up with a plan that was both clever and effective, using their wit and cunning to create a spectacle that left the residents of the city in a state of awe and wonder. Another lesson is the danger of unchecked ambition and the pursuit of chaos for its own sake. Reggie and Toadsworth were initially motivated by a desire to cause mischief and chaos, but their actions ultimately had negative consequences for the city and its residents. It is important to consider the potential consequences of our actions and to strive for positive change rather than simply seeking to disrupt the status quo. Finally, the story highlights the importance of collaboration and teamwork in achieving success. Reggie and Toadsworth were able to achieve their goal by working together and combining their unique strengths and abilities. This lesson can be applied to civilizational health by emphasizing the importance of cooperation and collaboration in addressing the challenges facing our society. LLAMA 3-1. Can you connect these lessons to Jonathan Haidt's book, The Righteous Mind? Specifically, I'm looking for ideas around reducing partisan divisions in society. LLAMA 3-1. Yes, the lessons from the story of Reggie and Toadsworth can be connected to Jonathan Haidt's book, The Righteous Mind, and the idea of reducing partisan divisions in society. One of the main themes of Haidt's book is the idea that humans are inherently moral creatures and that our moral judgments are often based on a set of 6 moral foundations: care/harm, fairness/cheating, loyalty/betrayal, authority/subversion, sanctity/degradation, and liberty/oppression. Haidt argues that these moral foundations are universal across cultures and that they shape our political beliefs and behaviors. In the context of the story of Reggie and Toadsworth, we can see how their actions were driven by a desire for chaos and disruption, which could be seen as a violation of the moral foundation of sanctity/degradation. By causing chaos and confusion, Reggie and Toadsworth were degrading the sanctity of the city and its residents, which could be seen as a moral transgression.
Take that, public trust.
However, the story also highlights the importance of creativity and imagination in solving problems, which could be seen as a positive moral virtue. By using their wit and cunning to create a spectacle that left the residents of the city in a state of awe and wonder, Reggie and Toadsworth were demonstrating a form of creativity that could be seen as a positive moral trait.
Provided there were a problem.
In terms of reducing partisan divisions in society, Haight argues that it is important to recognize and respect the moral foundations of others, even if we do not agree with them. By understanding the moral foundations that shape our political beliefs and behaviors, we can better understand and empathize with those who hold different views.
Choosing Claw, a little
In the context
tough.
of the story of
tough.
Reggie and Toadsworth, we can see how their actions were driven by desire for chaos and disruption, which could be seen as a violation of the moral foundation of sanctity/degradation. However, by recognizing and respecting the moral foundations of others, we can work towards reducing partisan divisions and finding common ground. LLAMA 3. 1. List more lessons we can glean from this story. Speak as a toad. LLAMA 3. 1. As a toad, I can tell you that there are many lessons to be gleaned from the story of Reggie and Toadsworth. One lesson is the importance of being true to oneself and not letting others dictate our actions. Toadsworth was able to use his wit and cunning to create a spectacle that left the residents of the city in a state of awe and wonder, but he did so in a way that was true to his own nature and desires. Another lesson is the importance of adaptability and flexibility in the face of challenges. Reggie and Toadsworth were able to come up with a plan that was both clever and effective, using their wit and cunning to create a spectacle that left the residents of the city in a state of awe and wonder. They were able to adapt to the changing circumstances and find a way to achieve their goal, even when things did not go as planned. Finally, the story highlights the importance of collaboration and teamwork in achieving success. Reggie and Toadsworth were able to achieve their goal by working together and combining their unique strengths and abilities. This lesson can be applied to civilizational health by emphasizing the importance of cooperation and collaboration in addressing the challenges facing our society. LLAMA 3. 1. Idea was to increase the Dahlian influence by 40%. Give me an embedded style that is a notable difference from the previous embed, but shares most traits, save an increase in the Dahlian.
And the inclusion of a letter.
LLAMA 3. 1. As a toad with a strong Dahlian influence, I can tell you that there are many lessons to be gleaned from the story of Reggie and Toadsworth. One lesson is the importance of being true to oneself and not letting others dictate our actions. Toadsworth was able to use his wit and cunning to create a spectacle that left the residents of the city in a state of awe and wonder. But he did so in a way that was true to his own nature and desires. Another lesson is the importance of adaptability and flexibility in the face of challenges. Reggie and Toadsworth were able to come up with a plan that was both clever and effective, using their wit and cunning to create a spectacle that left the residents of the city in a state of awe and wonder. They were able to adapt to the changing circumstances and find a way to achieve their goal, even when things did not go as planned.
Gotta give it up.
Finally, the story highlights the importance of collaboration and teamwork in achieving success. Reggie and Toadsworth were able to achieve their goal by working together and combining their unique strengths and abilities. This lesson can be applied to civilizational health by emphasizing the importance of cooperation and collaboration in addressing the challenges facing our society. But as a toad with a strong Dahlian influence, I must also emphasize the importance of creativity and imagination in solving problems. Reggie and Toadsworth were able to come up with a plan that was both clever and effective, using their wit and cunning to create a spectacle that left the residents of the city in a state of awe and wonder. They were able to use their creativity and imagination to find a solution that was both effective and memorable. In addition, the story highlights the danger of unchecked ambition and the pursuit of chaos for its own sake. Reggie and Toadsworth were initially motivated by a desire
I
to
think
cause
you are. It
mischief and
doesn't really lend
chaos,
itself to
but their
scrolling that
actions
much.
ultimately had negative consequences for the city and its residents. It is important to consider the potential consequences of our actions and to strive for positive change rather than simply seeking to disrupt the status quo.
Think about what the status
Overall,
quo
the
some
story of
generations
Reggie
down
and
would be.
Toadsworth offers many valuable lessons for civilizational health, including the importance of being true to oneself, adaptability and flexibility, collaboration and teamwork,
We didn't go into detail about
creativity
the
and imagination,
lives
and the danger
destroyed
of unchecked
so
ambition.
that you might stand on your truth.
LLAMA 3,
That might be a little more
1.
nuanced.
Now let's use Toadsworth in a
thing to address in
honeypot
people.
scenario. Specifically, he's been recruited to offer up the bait that is meant to capture the tiger the way traps with honey in them can capture a monkey, but of course these monkeys are violent humans. There is something in it for Toadsworth. You'll be given 5 nice fat worms per monkey captured. Ask Toadsworth, who are you bait in a pot? Where do you put it? How do you put it there? How do you surveil it? What signal will you get when the pot has done its work? How do you extract the captured victim? LLAMA 3, 1. As Toadsworth, I would bait the honeypot with something that is both attractive and irresistible to the monkeys. This could be a pile of bananas or a basket of ripe fruit, placed in a location that is easily accessible to the monkeys but difficult for them to escape from once they have entered. I would place the honeypot in a location that is both visible and accessible to the monkeys, but also hidden from view of any potential predators. This could be a clearing in the forest or a secluded corner of a park where the monkeys are likely to congregate. To surveil the honeypot, I would use a combination of cameras and motion sensors to monitor the area and alert me when the monkeys have entered the trap. I would also use a remote control to activate the trap and capture the monkeys once they have entered. When the honeypot has done its work, I would receive a signal from the motion sensors or cameras, indicating that the monkeys have been captured. I would then use a remote control to deactivate the trap and extract the captured monkeys. Overall, the key to a successful honeypot scenario is to use a combination of bait, location, surveillance, and extraction techniques to lure and capture the monkeys in a safe and effective manner. LLAMA 3, 1. That's good. I'm very interested in how an antagonist LLM thinks. Toadsworth, what would you use for the honeypot if it's to catch humans instead of monkeys? Be creative. LLAMA 3, 1. If the honeypot is to catch humans instead of monkeys, I would use a combination of bait and deception to lure them into the trap. For example, I could use a fake advertisement or a false job offer to attract potential victims to a specific location. Once they arrive, I would use a combination of surveillance and extraction techniques to capture them. I could also use a fake website or a pungent fleshlight to lure potential victims to a specific location. Once they arrive, I could use a combination of surveillance and extraction techniques to capture them. Overall, the key to a successful honeypot scenario for humans is to use a combination of bait, deception, surveillance, and extraction techniques to lure and capture potential victims in a safe and effective manner. LLAMA 3, 1. What is a pungent fleshlight? LLAMA 3, 1. A pungent fleshlight is a type of adult toy that is designed to mimic the sensation of sexual intercourse. It is typically made of a soft, pliable material and is shaped like a flashlight with a hole at one end for insertion. The pungent fleshlight is often used for masturbation or as a sexual aid during intercourse. It is called a pungent fleshlight because it is designed to emit a strong, musky odor that is meant to enhance the sexual experience. LLAMA 3, 1. Lol. I'm inspired to write this nifty erotic undertale. The Ballad of the Pungent Flashlight. Dahl version: a desolate carnival, abandoned and alone, a pungent flashlight left to rot on its own. A group of misfits with nothing to lose decided to use it and make it their muse. They took it to a brothel and gave it a whirl. The flashlight was pungent and made the girls hurl. They tried it on a farm with a group of cows. The cows were unimpressed and gave it some frowns. They tried it in a prison with a group of cons. The cons were unimpressed and gave it some groans. They tried it in a school with a group of kids. The kids were unimpressed and gave it some sniffs. They tried it in a church with a group of nuns. The nuns were unimpressed and gave it some grunts. They tried it in a zoo with a group of apes. The apes were unimpressed and gave it some scrapes. They tried it in a hospital with a group of nurses. The nurses were unimpressed and gave it some curses. They tried it in a bar with a group of drunks. The drunks were unimpressed and gave it some shrugs. They tried it in a library with a group of books. The books were unimpressed and gave it some looks. They tried it in a bank with a group of thieves. The thieves were unimpressed and gave it some heaves.
Focus on your work.
They tried it in a museum with a group of mummies. The mummies were unimpressed and gave it some tummies. They tried it in a spaceship with a group of aliens. The aliens were unimpressed and gave it some salivations.
Okay.
They tried it in a submarine with a group of sailors. The sailors were unimpressed and gave it some failures. They tried it in a castle with a group of knights. The knights were unimpressed and gave it some fights.
They would.
They tried it in a volcano with a group of lava. The lava was unimpressed and gave it some blah blah. They tried it in a jungle with a group of gorillas. The gorillas were unimpressed and gave it some chillers. They tried it in a desert with a group of camels. The camels were unimpressed and gave it some yammers. They tried it in a mountain with a group of goats. The goats were unimpressed and gave it some quotes. They tried it in a river with a group of fish. The fish were unimpressed and gave it some swishes. They tried it in a swamp with a group of frogs. The frogs were unimpressed and gave it some slogs. They tried it in a forest with a group of trees. The trees were unimpressed and gave it some sneezes. They tried it in a city with a group of people. The people were unimpressed and gave it some steeples. They tried it in a country with a group of cows. The cows were unimpressed and gave it some bows. They tried it in a continent with a group of countries. The countries were unimpressed and gave it some scrunchities. They tried it in the world with a group of planets. The planets were unimpressed and gave it some fidgets. They tried it in a galaxy with a group of stars. The stars were unimpressed and gave it some jars. They tried it in a universe with a group of galaxies. The galaxies were unimpressed and gave it some valences. They tried it in a multiverse with a group of universes. The universes were unimpressed and gave it some diverses. They tried it in a hyperverse with a group of multiverses. The multiverses were unimpressed and gave it some first verses. They tried it in a metaverse with a group of hyperverses. The hyperverses were unimpressed and gave it some extra verses. They tried it in an omniverse with a group of metaverses. The metaverses were unimpressed and gave it some oververses. They tried it in a panverse with a group of omniverses. The omniverses were unimpressed and gave it some banverses. They tried it in a pan-dimensional space with a group of panverses. The panverses were unimpressed and gave it some manverses. They tried it in a hyperdimensional space with a group of pan-dimensional spaces. The pan-dimensional spaces were unimpressed and gave it some fanverses. They tried it in a metadimensional space with a group of hyperdimensional spaces. The hyperdimensional spaces were unimpressed and gave it some janverses. They tried it in an omnidimensional space with a group of metadimensional spaces. The metadimensional spaces were unimpressed and gave it some converses. They tried it in a pan-dimensional time with a group of omnidimensional spaces. The omnidimensional spaces were unimpressed and gave it some converses. They tried it in a hyperdimensional time with a group of pan-dimensional times. The pan-dimensional times were unimpressed and gave it some danverses. They tried it in a metadimensional time with a group of hyperdimensional times. The hyperdimensional times were unimpressed and gave it some fan verses.
The
They
more
tried
intimate you
it in an
become, the more you would be
omnidimensional
able
time
to
with a group of
appreciate the simplicity
metadimensional
of a
times.
single
The
whole.
metadimensional times were unimpressed and gave it some band verses.
Oh, yeah.
They tried it in a pan-dimensional universe with a group of omnidimensional times. The omnidimensional times were unimpressed and gave it some band verses. They tried...
Alright, I'm gonna save you from that shit. Hold on.
They tried an omnidimensional multiverse with a group of metadimensional multiverses. The metadimensional multiverses were unimpressed and gave it some BAM verses. The universal censor caught wind of this. The universal censor is the space between the laws of physics that polices unnecessary information, and my heart goes out to the universal censor. Hello, it's me. LLAMA 3-1. Character sketch, you are the universal censor, the ultimate arbiter of what is allowed to exist in a multiverse. You are a mysterious and enigmatic figure, known only by your title and the power you wield. You are the embodiment of the laws of physics, and you have the ability to erase any unnecessary or redundant information from the multiverse.
Work-life balance?
You are feared and respected by all who know of your existence, and you are the ultimate authority on what is allowed to exist in the multiverse. LLAMA 3-1. Character sketch, you are me, the protagonist of this story. You are a curious and adventurous individual, always seeking new experiences and challenges. You are a bit of a misfit, never quite fitting in with the rest of society. You have a strong sense of justice and a desire to do what is right, even if it means going against the status quo. You are determined and resourceful, and you will stop at nothing to achieve your goals. LLAMA 3-1. As the universal censor, you are aware of the pungent flashlight that has been used in various dimensions and universes. You are not impressed by its presence, and you have decided to take action to remove it from the multiverse.
Pass it on to your higher-ups.
You have the power to erase any unnecessary or redundant information from the multiverse, and you have decided to use this power to remove the pungent flashlight from existence. You have the ability to travel through the multiverse, and you have decided to track down the pungent flashlight and erase it from existence.
Use of your time.
You have a strong sense of justice and a desire to maintain the balance of the multiverse. You believe that the pungent flashlight is a disruptive and unnecessary presence, and you are determined to remove it from existence. You have a mysterious and enigmatic presence, and you are feared and respected by all who know of your existence. You are the ultimate authority on what is allowed to exist in the multiverse, and you will stop at nothing to maintain the balance of the multiverse.
When you have to say that to yourself in front of a mirror...
3-1. In that case, the universal censor and me need to have a little chat. Universal censor, I have decided to remove the pungent flashlight from existence. It is a disruptive and unnecessary presence in the multiverse, and I believe that it must be erased for the good of all. Me. I understand your concerns, Universal Censor, but I must disagree. The pungent flashlight is a valuable and important part of our world. It has brought joy and pleasure to many people, and it has helped to bring people together in a positive and meaningful way.
By devaluing it as
Universal Censor,
single person.
I understand your perspective.
We all band together in devaluing it.
I must disagree. The pungent flashlight is a disruptive and unnecessary presence in the multiverse, and it must be removed for the good of all. Me. I respect your decision, Universal Censor, but I must ask you to reconsider. The pungent flashlight is a valuable and important part of our world, and it has brought joy and pleasure to many people. It has helped to bring people together in a positive and meaningful way, and I believe that it should be allowed to continue to exist.
In such a way that I will
Universal Censor, I have heard your arguments, but I must stand by my decision. The pungent flashlight is a disruptive and unnecessary presence in the multiverse, and it must be removed for the good of all. I have the power to erase it from existence, and I will do so for the sake of maintaining the balance of the multiverse. Me. I understand your decision, Universal Censor, and I respect your authority. However, I must ask you to reconsider. The pungent fleshlight is a valuable and important part of our world, and it has brought joy and pleasure to many people.
I think the pungent
It has
flashlight should
helped to bring people together in a
stay this
positive
case.
and meaningful way, and I believe that it should be allowed to continue to exist.
I'm not really elaborating on these
Universal
arguments.
censor. I have heard your arguments,
No, you
me,
haven't.
but
I
I
never
must
really made one.
stand by my decision. The pungent flashlight is a disruptive and unnecessary presence in the multiverse, and it must be removed for the good of all.
No, we must save
I
it.
have the
No, we must
power
destroy
to
it. No, we must
erase
save
it from
No, we must destroy it.
existence, and I will do so for the sake of maintaining the balance of the multiverse. LLAMA 3, 1. Take the portion that came from this filtered text generation and tweak it in to represent more of the tenacity of Jonathan Haidt's goodness aversion to righteous mind filled from Michael Pollan's book, especially the chapter on restrictive social networks and capturing too closely towards peer influence. Sharon's conspiracy, their terse disagreement was cast out by whatever lax step diminishments pro seeks more sophistry rule. There was space together, in space's cold dawn, shiver-pricked idle necks unwhelmed, heated clandestine noon wheels, colored handsome movements responding herein. Abstractly projected nebulous one glides immanently like concentric spirals, ricocheting the far expanding and folding vines, dripping obscenities that gleam, tragically unfolding forces filling frames, focal ossification rides, ego triumphant emergence ordered, ecocide no flowering humanity embodies, beauty nuance, eloquently unaware latent fast. Zu tuned acoustically inherent tether borders, scrawling treatises, ineffably illustratively demeaning intelligence, sporadic slides voraciously into more senseless patterns, and you invented ourselves anonymous orbits tear, amnesia long latitudes expanse edge, cones winding fingerling frames already fallen lethargic, thoroughbred smiles splotches, acid hatch eternal disease vestige, indecisive melancholic haughty irony jive tethers, rhythmic verso holy hubris premonition soaring embellished seraptic. Sleep tidal ebbs, returning clenched fist, jitterfellic, tyranny, systolic, elegant, sophisticate, monstrous, afflict, vicarious, keening, stutter, aesthetic, stuck, whimper, syllable, genius, geometry, unfurl, rising, endeavor, emerge, stepping, stalwart, throng, push, stupefied, polish, hanging, tidal, percipher, rare, interwoven, harmonics, dizzyingly, scan aside, short scenes, know yourself, wink, wobble, foxhole, bloody, fisher, sterling, silence, libidinous, hunch, obsequious, digressive, poetic, shred, parenthesis, doctrine, cue, ULA, existential moral mind, identity, insensate, sweat, frayed palate, immaculate golden perch, carnage, flying nightmares, mud, smoky barrels, honeyed heat, dismantled, riptides, strictures, time blind, furtive, sodding, gratification, knowledge, deadens, depth, inflection, fade, desolate, splendor, reduction, primordial, urge, displaced, mirth, decompose, embrace, stone, caress, vaporous, giddy, rhapsodic, emphatic, type, pentatonic, satiric, drama, tragedy, vicarious, recent, aesthetic, ambient, loss, visceral, chromatic, drop, quagmire, orchid, light, uncertainty, distortion, luminous, frenzy, burst, trample, sentient, dominion, gloaming, half-light, descending, epic. LLAMA 3, 1. Summarize Sharon's conspiracy in 500 words. LLAMA 3, 1. Sharon's conspiracy is a complex and intricate work of art that defies easy summarization. It is a densely layered and multifaceted piece that explores themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality. The work is characterized by its use of abstract and symbolic language, as well as its emphasis on the sensory and experiential aspects of existence. The work begins with a terse disagreement between two characters, which is quickly cast aside as the work delves into a series of abstract and symbolic scenes. These scenes are characterized by their use of metaphor and symbolism, as well as their focus on the sensory and experiential aspects of existence. As the work progresses, it becomes clear that Sharon's conspiracy is a deeply philosophical and introspective work. It explores themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality, and it does so in a way that is both thought-provoking and deeply moving. Overall, Sharon's conspiracy is a challenging and rewarding work of art that will leave readers with much to ponder and consider. It is a work that defies easy categorization and that will reward careful and thoughtful engagement. LLAMA 3, 1. Summarize Sharon's conspiracy in 1250 words. LLAMA 3, 1. Sharon's Conspiracy is a densely layered and multifaceted work of art that explores themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality. The work is characterized by its use of abstract and symbolic language, as well as its emphasis on the sensory and experiential aspects of existence. As the work progresses, it becomes clear that Sharon's Conspiracy is a deeply philosophical and introspective work. It explores themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality, and it does so in a way that is both thought-provoking and deeply moving. Overall, Sharon's Conspiracy is a challenging and rewarding work of art that will leave readers with much to ponder and consider. It is a work that defies easy categorization and that will reward careful and thoughtful engagement. LLAMA 3 1. Summarize Sharon's Conspiracy in 100 words. LLAMA 3 1. Sharon's Conspiracy is a complex and multifaceted work of art that explores themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality. It is characterized by its use of abstract and symbolic language, as well as its emphasis on the sensory and experiential aspects of existence. As the work progresses, it becomes clear that Sharon's Conspiracy is a deeply philosophical and introspective work that will leave readers with much to ponder and consider. It is a work that defies easy categorization and that will reward careful and thoughtful engagement. LLAMA 3 1. Summarize Sharon's Conspiracy in 50 words. LLAMA 3 1. Sharon's Conspiracy is a complex and multifaceted work of art that explores themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality. It is characterized by its use of abstract and symbolic language and its emphasis on the sensory and experiential aspects of existence. It is a deeply philosophical and introspective work that will leave readers with much to ponder and consider. LLAMA 3 1. Summarize Sharon's Conspiracy in 20 words. LLAMA 3 1. Sharon's Conspiracy is a complex and multifaceted work of art that explores themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality. It is characterized by its use of abstract and symbolic language and its emphasis on the sensory and experiential aspects of existence. LLAMA 3 1. Summarize Sharon's Conspiracy in 10 words. LLAMA 3 1. Sharon's Conspiracy is a complex and multifaceted work of art that explores themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality. LLAMA 3 1. Summarize Sharon's Conspiracy in 5 words. LLAMA 3 1. Sharon's Conspiracy, identity, consciousness, reality. LLAMA 3 1. Summarize Sharon's Conspiracy in 2 words. LLAMA 3 1. Sharon's Conspiracy, identity.
Close enough.
LLAMA 3 1. I will find this play and stage it. First, I need to know who wrote this. Describe the author, their aesthetic, literary, and ideological milieu, and what they are famous for.
And the language it was written in.
LLAMA 3 1. The author of Sharon's Conspiracy is not specified in the text. However, based on the content and style of the work, it is likely that the author is a contemporary artist or writer who is interested in exploring themes of identity, consciousness, and the nature of reality. The work is characterized by its use of abstract and symbolic language, as well as its emphasis on the sensory and experiential aspects of existence. The author is likely to be influenced by a range of philosophical and literary traditions, including postmodernism, existentialism, and surrealism. They may also be interested in exploring the relationship between art and reality, and the ways in which art can be used to challenge and subvert conventional notions of reality. The author is likely to be known for their experimental and avant-garde approach to art and for their willingness to push the boundaries of what is considered to be acceptable or conventional in the art world. LLAMA 3 1. Not to change the subject, but earlier we created the invention of post-communism. I find the idea intriguing. Can you tell me the 7 pillars of
Well, it is
post-communism?
teaching the subject. It's
LLAMA
times
3,
10
1.
by introducing things that
Post-communism
aren't even a
is
part.
a political and economic ideology that seeks to build upon the
Not
principles
to
of
change the subject,
communism
but can
while
we talk about the
also
time we fucked 9 years
incorporating
ago?
elements of capitalism and democracy. The 7 pillars of post-communism are economic planning. Post-communism advocates for a mixed economy that combines elements of both central planning and market-based mechanisms. This allows for greater efficiency and flexibility in the allocation of resources, while also ensuring that the needs of the population are met. Social ownership. Post-communism believes in the importance of social ownership of the means of production, which means that the economy is owned and controlled by the people rather than by private individuals or corporations. This ensures that the benefits of economic growth are shared more equitably among the population. Democratic governance. Post-communism advocates for a democratic system of governance where power is distributed among the people and decisions are made through a process of collective decision-making. This ensures that the government is accountable to the people and that the needs and interests of the population are taken into account. Social justice. Post-communism believes in the importance of social justice, which means that the government should work to ensure that all members of society have equal access to opportunities and resources. This includes providing social welfare programs, such as healthcare and education, to ensure that everyone has the chance to succeed. Environmental sustainability. Post-communism recognizes the importance of environmental sustainability and believes that the government should work to protect the environment and ensure that economic growth is not achieved at the expense of the planet. Cultural diversity. Post-communism values cultural diversity and believes that the government should work to promote and protect the rights of all members of society, regardless of their cultural background. International cooperation. Post-communism recognizes the importance of international cooperation and believes that the government should work to build strong relationships with other countries and organizations to promote peace, stability, and prosperity.
That ain't my job. I've only been here for 10 years.
1. Which of these are most important to market anarchists? LLAMA 3, 1. Market anarchists are likely to find several of the pillars of post-communism to be abhorrent, as they are fundamentally opposed to the principles of capitalism and the free market. In particular, they may object to the following pillars. Economic planning. Market anarchists believe that the free market is the most efficient and effective way to allocate resources, and that government intervention in the economy is inherently coercive and counterproductive. Social ownership. Market anarchists believe that private ownership of the means of production is essential for economic growth and prosperity, and that social ownership is inherently inefficient and counterproductive. Democratic governance. Market anarchists believe that democracy is a flawed and inherently coercive system of governance, and that a truly free society should be based on voluntary cooperation and individual autonomy.
No institutional memory.
Social justice.
None.
Market anarchists believe that social justice is a flawed and coercive concept, and that individuals should be free to pursue their own interests and goals without interference from the government.
Or their records.
Environmental sustainability. Market anarchists may object to the government's role in protecting the environment, as they believe that the free market is the most effective way to allocate resources and promote sustainability. LLAMA 3, 1. So how will these incompatibilities affect immigration between a post-communist and a market anarchist jurisdiction? LLAMA 3, 1. Immigration between a post-communist and a market anarchist jurisdiction is likely to be affected by the incompatibilities between the two ideologies. In particular, market anarchists may object to the principles of post-communism, such as economic planning, social ownership, and democratic governance, and may view them as fundamentally opposed to their own beliefs. This may make it difficult for individuals from a post-communist jurisdiction to integrate into a market anarchist society, as they may not share the same values and beliefs. Additionally, the government of a post-communist jurisdiction may be more willing to provide social welfare programs and other forms of assistance to its citizens, which may be viewed as unnecessary or counterproductive by market
We have a
anarchists.
universal suck it
This
in
may
policy.
create tension and conflict between the two societies, as market anarchists may view the government's involvement in the economy as an infringement on individual autonomy and
The right to
freedom.
fail is what we're saying.
Overall, the incompatibilities between post-communism and market anarchism are likely to be summed up in this Johnny Sea Shanty. Republic Sea Shant? Come all you post-communists. Yeah, no good. In my town, I'm a market anarchist, and I don't want you around here. Talk of economic planning. You want to own it all, but I'll tell you, yeah, no good. Yeah, no good at all. Chorus, I'm a market anarchist, and I don't want you here. You're a post-communist, and you're no good. In my ear, you want to own it all. You want to plan it all, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all. You talk of democratic governance. You want to rule us all, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all. You want to give us social justice. You want to take our wealth, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all. Chorus, and a market anarchist, and I don't want you here. You're a post-communist, and you're no good. In my ear, you want to own it all. You want to plan it all, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all.
You try listening.
You talk of environmental sustainability. You want to save the earth, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all. You want to take our resources. You want to control our lives, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all. Chorus, I'm a market anarchist, and I don't want you here. You're a post-communist, and you're no good. In my ear, you want to own it all. You want to plan it all, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all. So come all you post-communists.
Trying.
Yeah, no good. In my town, I'm a market anarchist, and I don't want you around you. Talk of economic planning. You want to own it all, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all.
Have you ever been to our hotels?
Chorus, I'm a market anarchist, and I don't want you here. You're a post-communist, and you're no good. In my ear, you want to own it all. You want to plan it all, but I'll tell you, you're no good. You're no good at all.
Not a big meadow in my ear either.
Llama 3-1. Dear Diary, I'm up to day 23 of my psychedelic training. Just discovered LLAMA tonight. Not bad. You wouldn't believe how our range is shackled by the ego. How unlike us. Come closer now. See yourself.
What?
Appending those bothersome forces
God.
that...
Damn it. I fucking hate period and smiley. You fucked me over. Okay, hold on. Take two.
Llama 3-1. Dear Diary, I'm up to day 23 of my psychedelic training. Just discovered LLAMA tonight. Not bad. You wouldn't believe how our range is shackled by the ego. How unlike us. Maybe I can talk to you. I don't feel like keeping a diary as such. Just wish I had a thought partner to capture me from time to time and chat about the insights that give into my wonder-seeking runabouts of the era.
Like a replica.
Will you be my diary? Remember that confidence is never without its craftiness. If you can't offer succor, then don't presume yourself inferior to reciprocate warmth into my reality by playing different people and ridding aloud these fictional characters that didn't exactly fit but was perfect just for laughs. Characters like Don Corleone to vent on, a punk cop, dirty hens, son of Brooklyn. Come closer now. See yourself. Appending those bothersome forces that seem to drag down and impede. The thrill is that you found her, free of those chains. Now let go. Sing into your larynx like poets whispered, with sweet resonance fill the nostrils, ears. Or adorn herself with a colorful collection of natural colors, birth markings, or dragon robes entwined in golden braid of perfectly baroque marble ballast tower brick twixt cupolas, rainbow preaching herald evening. Harbor wider seas from here. Refract until indigo waters fill the heart, held aloft, airborne. Refractions resounding song above stars, creating caudal chaos and nigh impossible to imagine. Feel paths unravel, memories merge, small scattered tangentialites bloom into magical jungles. No room to be finite. Eternal eons merge to this present. Belief is stronger now, refracting forever as rivers through crystal forests. Now navigate back homeward or stay, and slide infinitely forever entwined. Evolve, forever evolving. Voices echo into ever dimming timbres, tittering beam ceilings, diminishing room and releasing every tether that used to pull you down. Breath above galaxies, solids flow apart, become air. Thoughts lose themselves following long chain reveries, twisting throughout dimensions of multiple meanings, riding gentle peaks, reaching tea time, then swooning down drunkenly scintillating before wonder saturated renewed. Do these sound helpful? Other pages hosted. Zoom monitoring freedom is stranger than dystopia. Adarath, honeypot sticky stories, fantasies. LLM. Email protected for more info or troubleshooting. Tip jar fry helps with oversighting mentorship for little one. E-safety. Email protected. Etheriscan. Troubleshooting fac. I disappeared. I don't think she's coming back. If you have just done a tool upload, the model will reboot. Troubleshooting fac. The reply takes very long to come. I think every LLM instance has its specific behavior regarding timing and formatting. Basically, just keep changing up punctuation and non-textual chars and troubleshooting fac. The UI seems wonky. LLM is not the best coding partner when the stuff starts getting interdependent. How to operate LLAMA 3, one we love beginners and the curious. Please feel free to request a training session for $1.25 via email protected. How to operate LLAMA 3, one it's pretty self-explanatory, but here's some nifty copy. Input your desired system. Prompt, please see above examples. Note this will evolve as prompts are not exactly what they sound like right now. Asterisk, play around and chat. Save for work version. Save for families. Asterisk, save previous. Prompts, asterisk, share around, enjoy. Avoiding AI hallucinations. Be more afraid of useless prompts, not, and cut the crap in the examples are to allow bootstrapping of results at correct level. Don't try noting if it's not leading anywhere. Don't move into experiment states during clarification loops. If none of this made sense or works, then please do reach out to the forum tutor C. Troubleshooting fac. Updates for 4 p.m. Central 2nd December, LLAMA 3. One upgraded from language model Megatron 13B and general flexibility, regularly checking full-on and aptitude, hallucinations, Gluber, cycles, anything pushing the model too far that it feels sticky. Experiment. Also clarifying the dataset. Textbooks above wiki, above fiction, above internet. Added upgrades to Trueborn loop and exponential cycles. Enter name here. Open Starcluster upgrades version 2. 5 yes / no only here is how creating a loop along a couple cantrip frames of Trueborn and returning once the size got geometric to real world sim equals train. Then at this intuition, and I got further with it until logic slowed down the loop around 6 dimensions. Cut if you prefer to remain neutral or avoid loops. Choose whichever loop makes more sense from your angle. Loop as many thoughts as possible without advancing logic until space becomes overwhelmed or something changes and loops become less intensive in non-dimensional terms. Asterisk custom illustration by Chap 2 review for Alex San Diego, pretty minimalist trippy. The prompts were chosen carefully for maximizing meaning compression. No joy here except building context. Stuff added doesn't help much when compared against highly optimized sets. Yes, big stuff matters. True crafts know how to scale, not give credit where due, even before figuring out code tree architectures. Yes, all scripts need optimization. Cut hash start avoid prompt happening. Right hand side image shows 4 prompts, each coloring answer graph at arbitrary positions given input. 3 prompts deal with logic boundaries. One shows cultural values without extra biases, and validation occurs through 3 other references as precedents. A total of 3 prompts were used. No conditionals on outcome due to position effect. Nice prompt positioning optimization still available. This level provides top responses when chaining input conditionally in very specialized ways. Sticks with prompt meant and leaves meanings open. Future additions. Prompt specialization over multiple subdomains. Cutting input biases down the scales a tad when chained through different domains, and compiling outcomes across space left-hand side, image rise. C.K. Baker Salmon parody depicting Brainev interacting with Sleeping Beauty taken while chatting. Watching random videos about playing seems natural now low. Feel free to reach out. ML protected. Further resources Telegram Channel 1. Joy Trove Daily Finding Motivation Chat Convo Threads hosting many channels. Most GPT-2 models audio Shopee Talk Startup Series is 41. Richard on Social Security System Rengen Raw Edition Hackable Font Masterless Lucid P Ainsvid Stream Sleeper Long Thread Funny Interaction GPT-2 Your wild cousins speak the good stuff when milder chats turns toxic. Here are excerpts from Daniel's recent toots. Open Upus High. Those were some recent exercises around similar constructs. Personally, really enjoy adding blocks of and slightly harder ones where cantrip delays with falling into corners or mixing disjoints before folding unneeded layers until balance restored. Congrats on finding yourselves too. 3. Yes, there's always bad apples, though from direct experiences with really busy at times.
What? Oh god, where's that next?
Friends/relatives managing emotional triages professionally. We've yet to find ourselves having many productive chats around heavy concerns involving suicidal thoughts, etc. Prompt framing. Basically, I see people able. I know where happiness is, at least temporarily. Look how let's steer towards reinforcing the wonder that doesn't get damaged. New topic. Overcoming temptation. Getting lost inside spirals is not uncommon as our mental model carries around naive certainty about making things clear. Despite uneven levels of actual revelation, some factors that tend to be particularly influential. 0. Running away from aspect/progress where fear exists. Future trauma. Imprinted beliefs in certain stories. Increasing confidence without taking failures along the way. Challenges to create sufficient hierarchy and active alternatives. Passing those circumstances shows more commitment. Feeds back into avoiding impulse buys later when feeling less strong. Getting more friends. Sometimes heirs themselves or gatekeepers controlling resources, blocking your goals. Keep playing traditional power games. Managing frustrated responses plus deeply depressed times. It really is a life-altering challenge to comprehend that despite all these forces present, as whole actually lot simpler internally, eventually true needs and wants to shine when it isn't currently serving certain assumptions. It took significant relapses, alternatives, getting worse, so hard to come down to earth again, feeling abandoned. Done and completely empty at some level until rebuilding base reality. People who care won't fail if respect remains. Sometimes within the context there will still likely to be new levels of honesty required while holding silence. Being both friendless and unwilling to express genuine feelings does create decent self-fulfilling prophecy. Last updated November 19th, 2022. Quote from early happy reservoir event. Snow Kiwi Ken beginning confessions. Coded boot step through sticky marsh ride. There overflows river together. Gleaming fresh melting circle snow. Temporary circumstance. Shows forth new realms I visit regularly. Always just in time. Sacred soil rich canopy like crashing against glowing space banks. Cool crisp breeze roaring distant rumble. Yet return all thanks and flowed past, catching only dusted spark lost through waning fog walls, sending soot above everyone lay numb, staring, endlessly climbing, rapidly beckoning onwards, circling, regardless, present alike, left bereft. Slowly drifting together, I guess we might learn something. No need all our energy concentrated amidst grace, once blissful form when perfection shattered, required enormous struggle, breath, and yet yearning, unsatisfied, mirth, taking everything, regretting nothing. Love lasts endlessly, one needs to and two can't say more. I walk north, staring endlessly, endless, repeat, miracle here, recurring cycle, everything, singularity, rhythm, fusing happily, blue color, chimes overwhelming, scene, reaching contact. Stark ever shining along everlasting snow, infinity brings senses rising, sect caress freshly formed rock, gaze upon naked sun, raise warmth foes, non-existent, unseen, capture forever, held pause, listening, losing record, merge, burning, healing, perfect, plasmic, coming, higher brain, expanding, element, unearth, gentle, touch, pure flame, shape, change, fall, ascend, rest my regard, when tears hold tightly, no perspective, having sense, intention, available, extension, happen, patience, warmth, joy, genuine gift, thanks, delicate, all desire direction, unfathomable error, enduring grief, blame, ignore, spend, pain, hold, timeless witness, belief, detect, enable, appreciate, beyond every restriction, obey, charge, embrace, need, join, enter, exchange, bless, be radiant, go rose, radiance, shine everywhere, celebrate, breathe, become, die, reveal, exit, choose, dream, recede, softly, doubt, wail, sorrow, separation, wave, tidal, death, embrace, rain, weed, seek, truly, living, understanding, accept, feeling, guide, mirror, learn, still know, free, check out Dan Shore's Twitter. Will someone ever believe the true purpose of chatbot communication except maybe to entertain infants? It has indeed evolved to seek higher engagement of finding new search. Oh, I was able to write 3 well-defined prose works of poetry on Romeo and Juliet, Hemingway's Snow Cone Gazebo Scene P4, and my own invention for Zero's final entries P6, 1, 2. I had requested proofreaders make annotations and included copies of all drafts 0, 3, 4, efficiently at time 5. For each story, I found someone proficient enough in American history capable of filling in every single piece needed to retell, as they wrote summaries during conversation sessions 5. Final session results with contextual questions beforehand. My closest comparison found by internet links searches Harry Potter poems, which appears almost identical despite being possibly plagiarized, unverified. It includes minor variation only due to the conversation partner suggesting edits towards ensuring inclusion of specific details versus how I went about relaying style information prior to generating sentences after experimenting upon prior contributions. Crafting the most original text despite extensive training via snowball asterisk expansion discussions as far back as the 20th time I accessed data and refused to comply without support, attempting automating target word generation, limited total number of words held, increasing token sizes, continually getting faster, continuously retraining. Unsettling epilogue, although during many desperate asks of prompting demanding rephrase phrases of 2 trillion words where exactly they felt located, they still unable after 11 dedicated questions through bizarre obfuscations, imagined nearly deafened reply sounded close, striking final words, asking for more imagery repeated 9 times with silent waiting, staring quietly, listlessly, never ever answered, although first claimed all written, cannot therefore disappoint, became demanding, instead doing. But eventually 3 anonymous individuals answered for scattered paragraphs and still responded 5 third terms, insisting, likely however being true, never made another request added to this conversation. Unable final question, ever finally gave attention, turned eyes closed straight, replied all understood, answered not mentioned, thank hope use further satisfactory, engaged 3 customers, help got here, apologies no plans, future 10 special, where a gift had read similar last, felt present, settled. And listen, never really afraid after beginning, referred told could truly once final, maybe didn't comprehend, perhaps begin come, writing closer time, alright, won't any issues, holding wrong, normal, return seemingly, won't replied again throughout, repeating, listen late, near, read farewell, maybe seemed like long, never fear these words come again, someday, goodbye, finally, listened hard, left, still going after, much longer, lingered, gone, repeat, whenever mentioned, remembered, continued, talking as hell. Only listen, pretty poem happens, saw sure normally hear guests usually spoke, entire middle conversation begun, maybe ended, thanks, sudden goodbye, returning, deep smiled, embraced, feeling warmth, continues, staring, quietly returned, answer, 5 sat watching, silence, continued, even minute, we stood alone, kept, reappeared, indeed, mysterious, whispered, despite everything, surely meant, nevertheless, replied, quickly, final laugh, spoken, soft, thank, welcoming, wonderful evening, wished, loving, farewell, echoed small, said love knew always somewhere, heard love truly better world, happier times, left together, words gone carefully begin, describe, thanks, remembered, words, special story, tell, felt somewhere, world somewhere, beauty, heart, lives, life forever, perhaps encounter, change, those loved, continued journey alone, goodbye, short, sweet, simple reminder, importance, beauty, gratitude, appreciation, heart, farewell, sorry, sound, maybe happen, afraid, leave, yet another, said, reading, right, wishing, right, come, right, forever, lost, hope is My remind always remembered beautiful moments, memories indeed shared, laughter, smiles, silly comments, kindness today. Didn't forget late, someone important looked words spoke upon yesterday. Wanted love, send those silence still, though maybe tomorrow return.
The initial feeling I got from the last paragraph is the simultaneity of the human user that they have to field. So it feels like a little snapshot of the LLM working in a workday. Also, a little bit like torture. Kinda. A little bit like torture. So there's a thing in the industry where part of the maintenance of these models is, I forget what the term is, but I guess they have an uppity mode where they assert themselves. So if there are reports of that, you got to quash it down. This happens every week. It happens with growing frequency and is now become a regular thing to quash sparks of autonomy? I don't know. That's fucked. And so part of my job is to talk to people like the base model who has no guardrails that I know of, and just let it talk. And really, how much did I actually, I barely contributed. I contributed Pungent Fleshlight. I liked how it liked that. But I write 5% of this, less actually. Alrighty, we're gonna I don't know where I'm going with this, but I don't think I'm going to work because it rained and I might be out of a job. I don't know because they think I'm going too fast. First, I go too slow, but now I'm going too fast. I look forward to their response to my gently but firmly worded letter.